Alrighty, hello, Dream Team Social Studies. I am super proud of you all because I have a ton of people who have already turned in their notes for today, and that's awesome. I know a few of you might still be working on it this evening and maybe into tomorrow morning, and that's fine. Um, Tomorrow, so when you're watching this, will be today. You are going to be taking your Chapter 16, Sections 1 and 2 quiz. I am uploading the Chapter 16, Section 1 key to Canvas because I know some of you might not have brought your social studies stuff home prior to us getting out of school because we kind of didn't know when we were going to be back. So you will have access to that key that is from me. And then I also, you're going to be watching a video that is a review of what we did before we got out of school that kind of refreshes your memory of what we were talking about. And with this video, I am going to just do a few announcements, and then I'm going to kind of talk us through some of the important stuff that you read about with Section 2 yesterday. You looked more at culture and government structure. So just those different aspects of the grapes that we've been talking about all year, social hierarchy, that kind of thing. Few things before I get started on that. When you're watching this will be Tuesday the 7th. On Wednesday the 8th at 10 a.m., we're going to do a Zoom meeting where you can watch this live and give me questions because I'm going to be introducing your Aztec ball game writing piece. So I know that a lot of people will have questions about that, and it's not going to be like, here's your essay, do it and turn it in. It's a very step-by-step process. There will be some times where you turn stuff into me so I can review it, give you feedback, and then you can move forward. So don't stress about it. We will get through it. So what you all read about today were, so you specifically went into how the Mayan culture worked, the government structure, which were those city-states controlled by rulers that called themselves God Kings. You also learned that Mayans wanted captives as a result of warfare more than land, which is really interesting because in the past when we've studied things, most of our empires who are conquering want land and really don't care about the people. But because of the way Mayan religion worked, they preferred captives, which they used as human sacrifice to appease the gods. Which leads us to kind of their religion aspect of the Mayan culture. They really believed that was at the center of their culture because they believed that gods were in control of everything on earth, whether that be natural disaster, food, harvests being good or bad, just anything that went on earth, gods were in control of. So they wanted to make sure that they pleased them. Women did have a role in Mayan culture. They were often married off to other city-states to build that relationship between two city-states, whether that be just to keep the peace or to influence trade in a positive way. And women could also serve as queens in these city-states. Well, I think that's all I want to say about the Mayans because we talked a lot about them previously. The Aztecs believed they were promised a specific region of land. And it's a very interesting story how, and you all read about this, how they stumbled upon their land, which was that they had killed another Aztec princess. And then they were on the run for a while because that king promised he was going to kill them all. And at that time, the Aztec empire and military was not that large, so they were fearful. And then they stumbled upon an island, and they believed that this was their promised land because of the symbolism of the eagle and the snake. So they felt like this is where they were supposed to be. You saw how the Aztec capital was structured with the center point being the temples, the schools, and the priest houses that were surrounded by a wall. There was a round temple in the middle to honor different gods, and then the Aztec ball game, which we've read a little bit about. We did that web quest on, and how influential it was to Aztec culture. It's important to note the way the social hierarchy of the Aztec Empire was. You've got your nobles on top, then commoners, then unskilled laborers, and then enslaved people. So, with every civilization that we've been looking at, we look at that social hierarchy. Can people move out of classes? Can they move up? Can they move down? Or do they just have to be where they are forever? So that's important to think about as we continue on in Mesoamerica. Next, we have the Incan Empire. Their king set up a strong central government, and they had local rulers that remained in power. And it's interesting how he got these local empires to remain loyal to him. He would take their sons and train them in Cusco for just being warriors, and just kind of having that over the heads of those in the different regions and the local rulers. Their social hierarchy is discussed in this as well. They have the sons of the sons, or the rulers who lived in Cusco, and their wives were at the top, so those warriors being at the top. The head priest and the commander of the armies were just below the royal couple. Then you have temple priests, army commanders, and skilled workers, and at the bottom were farmers, herders, and ordinary scholars. So theirs is a little more intricate than the Aztec social hierarchy. What else do I want to touch on? It's important to know that by the end of the Middle Ages, about 2 million people lived in north of Mesoamerica. They spoke around 300 languages. So this is when we get into like our Native American tribes, and you started to get into that at the end of this section, where these tribes started to form, and they were making these different peace treaties to stay not at war and benefiting each other for trade. It's kind of the main points that I wanted to talk to you guys about. Let me see. Yeah, so basically, once we get towards the end of Mesoamerica, in the Middle Ages, we start seeing these North American geography leading to the development of these many Native American groups. So like different, like the Iroquois, different tribes that you have probably heard of before this class. And that leads us to the end of the Middle Ages in Mesoamerica. And then our next section is the last one for this one, but we won't get to that section until after this writing piece. And then that last section is how the Aztec and the Incan empires fell. So the Mesoamerica, medieval times in Mesoamerica are the last group that we look at in the Middle Ages, and then we are moving on. So if you guys have any questions, anything you're concerned about, anything you don't understand in the text, please email me. You can message me on Canvas. Somebody did today. So just make sure you're reaching out. I will try and give you all as much information and steps along the way. I'm really proud of you guys for getting your work done today. If you did not finish your notes, please get those done. That is a grade that I will put on Infinite Campus. So you need to have that. Other than that, I will hopefully, next video you will see will be a live video on Wednesday at 10 a.m. It's a Zoom meeting. I will put that link on Canvas as well. You can access it on your phone, a computer, Chromebook. So there's multiple ways. And I hope to see you all on Wednesday.